say it louder. You're the question, you're the answer. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. If you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful, where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Feel the moment, feel the power. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Say it louder, say it louder. Feel the moment, feel the power. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. If you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful, where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Feel the moment, feel the power. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Say it louder, say it louder. You're the question, you're the answer. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. If you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful, where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Feel the moment, feel the power. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time.
A very good evening and welcome to World Cup 2026 live here in LFS as we kick off another day of World Cup knockout action, and it's round of 32 time for Cote d'Ivoire and Norway. Two sides who finished as runners-up in their respective groups now face off to see Brazil in the round of 16. And it has been a dramatic last 24 hours when it comes to the round of 32, and the drama that has engulfed these fixtures over the last night or so. And let's have a look at them. It's been absolutely gripping to see, and the beautiful game strikes again. Paraguay beating Germany on penalties. 4-time winners Germany were behind early in the game when Enciso put Paraguay in front. Kai Havertz levelled for the Mannschaft in that game, but it wasn't to be enough. It took them to penalties, and Manuel Neuer couldn't stop the Paraguay players from winning it on spot kicks. 4-3 on pens, and Paraguay knocking out Germany, one of the biggest shocks we've seen at this World Cup. And it was followed up by another dramatic result between the Netherlands and Morocco. Morocco knocking out the Netherlands in that one. Also a 1-1 draw after 90 minutes, or 120 minutes, shall I say. It was the Netherlands who took the lead after Cody Gakpo gave them the front in what has been a really tough few days for Cody Gakpo, and what a magical moment that was for him. And we wish him all the very best, and all our thoughts are with him at this moment in time. But Issa Diop made sure that Morocco were not going home without a fight. They levelled in the 91st minute, took it to extra time, and in the end, it was penalties that saw Morocco knock out another major nation at this World Cup after they knocked out Spain in 2022 in the round of 16. Well, it's the Netherlands who have fallen to the sword of the Moroccan threats. 3-2 on pens, and it means we have already our first matchup for the round of 16. A quick look though at these are the results from the round of 32. Germany, South Africa, Netherlands and Japan all out. Cote d'Ivoire, Norway, one of these two will join them, and one of them will play Brazil in the round of 16 for this one. This is the way the round of 16 is shaping up. 4 teams already confirmed through, and Canada and Morocco are the first matchup for the round of 16. That is being played on Saturday at 6 o'clock in Houston. Looking forward to that one to kick off the round of 16 on Independence Day in the USA. Well, for this one, it's been really fascinating to look forward to this match. This is the first ever meeting of the nations. Cote d'Ivoire have never played in a knockout game at the World Cup before, so this is their first chance. And they finished as runners-up in their group, in Group H, after wins via Ecuador and Curacao. Remember, they played Germany as well, lost late in that game against Germany. So a really strong Cote d'Ivoire side who have shown their threats, but also shown their defensive solidity. And they'll need it, because Norway have one of the most ruthless strikers on planet Earth, and they finished runners-up in Group I, behind France in the group after a defeat to Les Bleus in the final group game, with Erling Haaland benched for that one. Didn't play a single minute in that third group game. They knew they were through, and they knew that maybe a runner-up place might have been more beneficial for them. Remember though, the winner of this one will play Brazil in the round of 16. And before that, quick look at our winner chances, because Opta have updated their stats after Germany and the Netherlands were both knocked out. It is looking like this. France remain the leaders in terms of the winner chances. 22.5% chance to win according to Opta. Argentina with a 15.9% chance. Spain in third on that list was just over 13%. Brazil a close fourth on 11%, just over England, who have around about a 9% chance according to Opta to win the tournament outright. And that is updated after France's route has arguably got much easier, because the Netherlands and Germany could have been in their path to the quarterfinals if they had gone through. Let's have a look at the two teams for this one though. Cote d'Ivoire and Norway. Fofana starts in goal for Cote d'Ivoire. Doué, Kusunu, Agbadou and Conan are the back four. Sangare, Kessié and Ulai are the midfield three, with Pepe, Diomande and Bonny the front three for Cote d'Ivoire. Amad Diallo, who scored that winner in the early group game, he is on the bench. for Norway. It's back to a more normal-looking Norway side. Neelan starts in goal, a back four of Pedersen, IVOIRE, Hegem and Muller-Wulfe. Berg and Berge are in midfield with Ødegaard in the 10. Sorloth and Nusa the wingers, with Erling Haaland the centre forward. And options off the bench if they need them, Norway, to see who will go through. It's Africa v Europe. It's Cote d'Ivoire v Norway in Dallas for a spot to play Brazil in the round of 16. Kick-off here at AT&T Stadium is on the way next. A very good evening. Thank you very much for joining us for this one here in LFS as we continue our round of 32 coverage of the 2026 World Cup. The countdown is on for this one. Cote d'Ivoire against Norway in the round of 32, battling it out for the privilege, the chance, the opportunity to face Brazil, the most successful team in world football history at this tournament. They had to scrape through with a late minute winner against Japan yesterday. They know they will face the winner of this one, Brazil. And who will it be? Two very well matched sides. They've got their threats, have got their options, but also have their fragilities too. Opportunity for Norway to break forward there. It was Nusa. Picked up now by Muller-Wulfe. That was cut out well by the backtracking Nicolas Pepe, who has been key to Cote d'Ivoire. The Villarreal winger, of course, formerly of Arsenal, of course, if you remember as well. He scored twice against Curaçao in their 2-0 victory in their final group game to secure a runner-up spot for Cote d'Ivoire in their group. A narrow 1-0 defeat, or 2-1 defeat to Germany, and that 1-0 win over Ecuador in the dying embers of that game secured their spot as runners-up in the group with 6 points for the Ivory Coast. And will, of course, interchange Cote d'Ivoire and Ivory Coast. It's the same thing, it's just one's in English and one's in French. It's just, obviously, for comparison reasons. Do you have to say, though, coming into this one, Norway, after a really strong start to the group, they knew they were through after 2 games in the group, knowing that France were their opponents in Game 3, giving their key players, their key starters a rest to let them recuperate and give them a best of chance as any to be as fit and firing and sharp as they can be for this one. It would be historic. It would be quite magical for one of these two teams. Whoever does go through, it will be quite a feat. Remember, this is Cote d'Ivoire's first ever knockout game. Ball into the box. Haaland with the header. Bobbled around. A couple of defenders back in there. And it's cleared away at the back post. And Erling Braut Haaland to give him his full name with his first opportunity of the match. It's a cross on the right-hand side. And he was man-marked there by Agbadou. Norway, they're going to be penalised for an offside, and right back Pedersen straight into an offside position. We see it here, the ball just drops. Haaland doesn't really jump for it, just kind of directs it as he stands on ground, and it's the defender Olidon Kusunu that makes the block with his chest to stop Haaland's header. There wasn't much venomous pace on it, you got to say, though, from Erling Haaland. In any case, didn't really test the Ivory Coast goalkeeper. And of course, Erling Haaland, goes without saying, will be key to success for Norway in this game. Remember, their best performance at a World Cup was reaching the round of 16 back in 1998 for Norway. It was actually the last time they qualified for a World Cup. It was 28 years ago. They've actually reached the round of 16 two of the last 3 times, and 2 of their 3 qualifications both were hosted in France in 1938 and 1998. Their only other qualification in the World Cup was in 1994 in the USA, and they were grouped in that one. And that was the most tragic of ways to go out. It was one of the most dramatic group stage exits we'd ever seen, and it still have ever seen in World Cup history. That's a nice challenge there from Christopher IVOIRE. Well, the Norwegian fans are certainly the one set of fans, or one of the set of fans, that have certainly captured this World Cup. Their viral moments of doing their row on all sorts of forms of transport. I saw a video earlier today of them doing it on an airplane, which is quite fun. We've seen them do it on the subway and the trains, and of course the players doing it after their qualification to the knockouts. It's absolutely wonderful. That's what makes the World Cup. Not only just the players and the football on the field, but the whole drama, the whole atmosphere around it, of the players kind of reacting to what the fans are doing, and it's just magical. It is really enjoyable, and you gotta say, Norway are one of those teams people seem to enjoy and people seem to like and take to, both on and off the pitch. Here's Pedersen making a run down the right. That's to play it back. And have a little 1-2 link up down that right hand side with Sorlots. We'll go out of play though of Conan. And Norway in all white for this one, but it is all red and blue for the Norwegian fans. And of course, Ivory Coast in all orange, as is their traditional kits. They are the designated home team in terms of the administrative purposes for this one. So they had the choice of picking their home shirt. Norway had to alter it because orange and red are very similar. Agbadou back to his goalkeeper Fofana, who gets rid of it quickly. Up into the air by Sanderberger. A bouncing ball. It's brought down by Sangari. Now Nicolas Pepe. Sangari again. Turning back to Kusunu. Now Nicolas Pepe. Down the right hand side. One for Mulavulfa, shall I say, to try and defend. And Hegem comes across against Kessier to see it out for the throw. Well, of course, this game could come down to who scores the opener and what way this game transcends. It can go one of 2 ways, where they could try and outscore one another. Douay with a nice cross there, just off the head of Jan Diomande. Just kind of got a clip with the head rather than much contact for the winger, who's been a hot topic around Europe in terms of transfer status. Jan Diomande, the RB Leipzig man, could be heading to Paris after what it seemed to be heading to Merseyside before that. Here he is, Diomande. Ball across the box there from Conan. Bounce down for Nicolas Pepe on the right hand side. Pepe trying to take on his man in Mulavulfa. Hegem there again with the block. Back though with Pepe. Kessier. Now Douay around the corner. Pepe to make the run to the byline. Trying to drag in Mulavulfa, and the ball across was dangerous. Bonny was in the middle, and Hegem makes the block to see it behind for the corner. Really good again from Nicolas Pepe, making the difference, taking players out of position, creating options, creating situations in behind. And now a corner for Ivory Coast. Here is the FIFA president once again, and the president of African football as well on the scene. Corner then. Nicolas Pepe to take here for Cote d'Ivoire. Left-footed delivery, it's deep to the back post. It's missed the head of, I think it's Kessier in there that's trying to get his header onto it. And it will bobble behind for a goal kick. But dangerous spell from Cote d'Ivoire there. Nicolas Pepe certainly the leading force in their attacking threats. First few minutes of this one. That's the one question. They've got such dangerous attackers, both teams, that, as I said, it could turn into one or two type of games. It could be you score then we score type of idea, or all the attackers show up and the goalkeepers do a better job and it will be a tight affair come the ends. But either way, I expect it to be close. I expect it to be very little between them in the grand scheme of things. It's kind of the way the round of 32 has been the whole way through. The fact that no team out of the 4 matches we've seen so far has won by more than a goal. 2 have been decided by penalties. They're 1-1 draws, and the other 2 have both been won by added time winners. So every game going into 90 minutes on the 90th minute have all been level so far in the tournament in the round of 32. So shows the competitiveness. Kessier wins it back here down the right off Müller-Wülfe, but through ball towards Bonny is well closed up by Hegem and cleared away by Nieland. Nieland, who was one of those who was subbed out for that game against France in the groups, giving their key goalkeeper a rest, and Solvik did a really good job, I have to say. But here come Norway. Ødegaard couldn't quite squeeze it through for Erling Haaland. Those two are incredibly dangerous when they get on the ball. It goes without saying. They're the most dangerous players, if not the most dangerous players for Norway. A creative force in Haaland, or Ødegaard, sorry, and the finisher in Haaland. The referee giving a free kick there to Cote d'Ivoire. The manager there for Cote d'Ivoire, Emers Faye, certainly made his voice heard, to say the very least. Here's Conan. Diomande. Wide to Ulai. Sangare. Switched out to the right hand side here for Doué. And now Nicolas Pepe. Cote d'Ivoire with the intention to have more of the ball. Here's Agbadou to Conan. Kessier to Conan again, who comes inverted. Switches it out to the left. Brought down on that side. Colai trying to guide one through there for the run of Bonny, but overhits. Zarb says Ivory Coast was my dark horse, and it's so far a good run for them. Although they play Norway, I can still see them upsetting Norway potentially. Well, that's the thing, this could go either way, and that's what makes it so interesting, that Cote d'Ivoire have really not shocked people, but in a way have been pleasantly surprising in this tournament, and as have a lot of the African nations. There's a lot of disrespect around the African nations coming into this tournament, and whether they were good enough, whether they were fit enough, whether they could reach the level of some of Europeans' top opponents, maybe some of the South American sides, but they've really shown their worth. 9 of the 10 teams that made it into this tournament for Africa progressed to the knockout stages, which is an incredible feat. Absolutely wonderful. And quite a few of them doing it as runners-up of their groups, and not just as 3rd place. Clip ball into Bonny. Good ball from Doué, but Bonny just kind of bounced off him there as he got in behind and allowed Nieland to pick it up. Starting to settle into the game. Ivory Coast here. Here's Pedersen. Back to Orjan Nielands. Right to the left-hand side for Müller-Wülfe. Hegem. Across to Christopher Ayer, who will be well known to those of the Premier League fans, the Brentford centre-back, Christopher IVOIRE. Norway's possession there, hampered and halted. And Cote d'Ivoire have it back. All the way back with Fofana. Now, Agbadou playing dangerously there, lifting it over Haaland. As Kusunu plays a nice ball into the middle. Here is Sangare, switching it out to the left-hand side, taken in by Diomande. He's got Pedersen for company. Diomande with his first attempted run. He's got the pace, he's got the measure, and he has got the better of his man, and he wins a corner. That's really fabulous 1v1 play from Jan Diomande. Yeah, he had Pedersen on toast there, and Pedersen tried to take him to ground. I think he's questioning Diomande why he wasn't given the foul initially. Yeah, Pedersen definitely committing the foul, and then takes on a second man, Diomande, and ends up winning the corner for Ivory Coast. Yeah, second corner of the game. Opportunity to test this Norwegian defence. It's Diomande to deliver. Headed away there in the middle. That time by Sorlots. Down the right it comes now. Doué, right back at Norway this comes. Doué's ball, little deep. Diomande takes it down with his chest, but too much on it. Takes it behind for the goal kick, but certainly looking dangerous when they get the ball in the wide areas, Cote d'Ivoire so far. Those early crosses, Doué's danger. Jan Diomande getting in behind. And on the other side, of course, Nicolas Pepe going 1v1. They are looking dangerous in the wide areas. That's where Norway need to be very careful. Not to give them a helping hand at that. So far, I think Cote d'Ivoire have looked the better of the two teams to this point. Possession has been around 50-50, but you think Cote d'Ivoire have created more. Certainly, yet to really see Erling Haaland involved in much after his early header that was dealt with by the Ivorian defence. Here's Christopher IVOIRE to Berge, Pedersen, Sander Berge. Taken in by IVOIRE again, who's gone for a forward run. Feeds it to Sorlot down the right. Muscled there by Jan Diomande. He did well there on that occasion. Cote d'Ivoire to win it back after Alexander Sorlots was played in by Christopher IVOIRE, but Diomande not only showing what he can do 1v1 in attack, 1v1 in defence. Pepe to Doué. Right, Kusunu. Fofana back across to Agbadou. Conan. Nice flick by Diomande. Just couldn't be taken with him there for Ulai, but quickly won back. Diomande again. Comes inside, switches it out to the right. Lovely layoff. Finding Nicolas Pepe with space. With the width. Rolls it in behind. Doué. Hit the underlapping run. Plays it back inside to Pepe. Square little 1-2 with Bonnie and Pepe. That just rolled out of play. That's going to be a goal kick. But again, the fluidity and the movement from Ivory Coast. Really quite solid so far. It's Nicolas Pepe here, and it's the inside underlapping run of Doué that creates the angle. Make the movement. Back inside to Pepe, and then a little 1-2. It doesn't quite work out, as Pepe couldn't keep it in play, but dangerous again from Cote d'Ivoire. Pedersen. Berge all the way back to Nielands, who recycles it into the path of Hegem. Pressing quite high here. Cote d'Ivoire as Berg has to help it back to his goalkeeper, but they're making the noise in the stands. Expect nothing less of the Cote d'Ivoire in supports. There's Martin Odegaard coming much deeper than he would like to get a hold of the ball and help to create something. Trying to dictate here, Norway, but such compactness out of possession from Ivory Coast. That's a nice ball down the left, though. Switched across, taken in by the path of Alexander Solots. Now down the left of Muller-Wülfe, and that's blocked behind. And I think they've given a throw in, has he? The referee. I think he initially was given a throw in to Ivory Coast. Yeah, Sorlot does well to pick up the pocket, lays it down the left, and there's the last touch come off a Norwegian player there. In Muller-Wülfe, the referee. Throw in for Ivory Coast. So they try and break away here. Ulai. Conan to Diomande. Looks so casual on the ball. Jan Diomande, but still so threatening. Ulai. Conan cuts back onto his right and tries to find the net, but only finds the side netting. Ghislain Conan there with the really good move, cut back onto his right foot and just tried to find the near post. Neelan was nervous. Neelan had to dive for it. It was going wide and ended up hitting the side netting, but dangerous from Cote d'Ivoire. Again, they're starting to grow into the game, build a bit more danger, become a bit more dangerous when they get into the final third now, creating better chances. Anyway, but second best at the moment. Just show over 20 minutes gone. Still Ivory Coast 0, Norway 0 here in Dallas, AT&T Stadium. Here's Martin Odegaard, the Norwegian captain. Wants to play it back to IVOIRE. Down the left-hand side now is Nusa. Inside to Berg. Nusa. Nusa easily marked up here as he has to play it back to Muller-Wülfe. Hegem back across to Christopher IVOIRE. It's more patient, more slow from Norway. Nusa. Sander Berge. Odegaard. Sander Berge. Trying to create the width with the centre-backs there. Playing it wide as Hegem trying to play in Nusa. And the last touch there off Due. That's going to be a corner to Norway. First real moment we've seen of Antonio Nusa, the RB Leipzig winger. 21-year-olds. Has played. Actually is the player who did come on late in that game against France and made some dangerous moments late on in the game. And corner for Norway. Their first of the match will be Berg to take. Right-footed, swung on the near post, headed away confidently. Nusa trying to battle to win it and hold it up, and in the end they're going to give away a foul. Jan Diomande, quick with his feet, gets there ahead of Martin Odegaard. The referee being surrounded by Sangari and Kessier. Yeah, it was actually Muller-Wülfe with the challenge. Yeah, see it here, Nusa and Muller-Wülfe. It's just a miscommunication. Nusa's expecting Muller-Wülfe to come and get to the ball, and Muller-Wülfe's expecting him to pass it back. They miscommunicate, and Jan Diomande's there to try and make the advantage and pick up the loose ball. Ends up getting clattered by the Norwegian fullback. And a free kick here to Cote d'Ivoire off the back of it. And after that, before we get back underway, it will be a hydration break, which is not popular, and understandably, because we're inside a air-conditioned stadium shielded from the hot Texas sun. It is baffling why we need a hydration break at an air-conditioned stadium at 18, 19 Celsius. But there you have it. Well, of course, Norway finishes runners-up in Group I. The winners of Group I take to the stage a little later this evening. It's a 10 o'clock kickoff between France and Sweden. As currently the tournament favourites to be the winners, France take on a very tricky Sweden side who've got some real good talent in the top end of the pitch. You ever heard of an Alexander Isak or Victor Gyökeres? Well, if there's a talk about firepower, they're not short of it, Sweden. And we'll see how they fare against Les Bleus a little later on this evening. Although our returning action sees England take to the stage tomorrow at an earlier kickoff time from Atlanta, Georgia, 5 o'clock. They take on DR Congo. And DR Congo side have been really impressive in their opening games. Very exciting. And another African nation who defied the odds. And we'll see how they fare against England tomorrow at 5. While we do have this break in play, just a reminder for you, of course, the winner of this game plays Brazil in the round of 16. That game will be played on Sunday evening, 9 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. Brazil against the winner of this one in New York, or in New Jersey, shall we say, where the final will be hosted. And that is a real perfect venue for what will be a great matchup, whatever happens in this one. Our first of the round of 16 games will see Canada take on Morocco. That's 6 o'clock UK time on Saturday, July the 4th, of course. Independence Day in the USA, that's from Houston. And then at 10 o'clock in the same evening on Saturday evening, Paraguay will face either France or Sweden in Philadelphia. That's a 10 o'clock kickoff in that one, also on Saturday. So a major doubleheader from that one on Saturday. We could possibly see a Portugal-Spain matchup on Monday if they both win their respective games. Croatia-Austria would be the alternative to that. USA will be in action on Thursday this week for the round of 32 game, and if they go through, they would play next Tuesday in their round of 16 tie. Of course, Argentina-Cape Verde is the ultimate round of 32 matchup. Just the story surrounding it is what makes it so exciting. That's on Friday night, 11 o'clock, and that will conclude our round of 32 coverage here on LFS on Friday evening. But before all that, we're going to get back underway here in Dallas after our hydration break. See if either one of these two sides can have a shot on target. Neither side have had that so far, and I would dare to say that Ivory Coast have looked the more likely. Conan with the long ball, trying to bypass the midfielders. Norway get a little loose defensively. Pedersen again hounded down that side. They end up working it out here, Norway, although the referee is going to pull it back. I think he is given a throw in. He has. Yeah. Says the ball went out of play there. From what I saw, didn't look like it did from Sanderberger, but the camera angle can be a little bit deceiving. Here's Kosunu. Back to Fofana. Pressure from Haaland, but then the danger will be, certainly can't get comfortable, the defenders, thinking, oh, Erling Haaland hasn't been involved in the game. That's where he becomes the most dangerous, but at the moment, it's Cote d'Ivoire that looked the more dangerous. Here's Cassier down the left-hand side for Diomande. 3 in the box. Diomande lifting it round the back. Pepe across! And that one didn't have the angle of the finish, and IVOIRE has to hook it over the top out of the danger, but the two wingers there for Ivory Coast, instinctive link-up. Jan Diomande, you think he's going to play it short or go himself. He decides to loop it round the back. And Nicolas Pepe making the late run off the back of Müller-Wülfe. Just tries to get it back across goal, whether he was going for the pass or the shot. Either way, it came off Christopher Ayer and behind for the Cote d'Ivoirian corner, of which Nicolas Pepe will take. Left-footed delivery by Pepe. Bounces down. Diomande recycles it down the right-hand side. Back to Pepe. Onto his left, swings it deep. Lots queuing up. No one can make the keen contact. Kessier was the closest, but it goes behind for a Norwegian goal kick. Again, that's what I mean. Their crosses look so threatening. Cote d'Ivoire and Norway really struggling to fend them off at the moment and deal with those crossing situations. It's the width that they're creating, the threat in the wide areas. So far, Muller-Wulfe and Pedersen, the fullbacks, just haven't matched the level of the wingers of Cote d'Ivoire so far, as Nusa runs into trouble. He will win it back though. Fortunate drop of the ball. Odegaard hounded. They keep it alive though. Nusa couldn't squeeze it through a very compact defence as Kessier lays it down the right, and Pepe's got room to run. Making a little angle inside, back outside from Pepe. Clips it across the box. It will bounce and be headed behind by Pedersen. Bonny was the target. It bounced away from him, and Pedersen made sure Diomande was not lurking in behind. And it goes behind for the corner. Another threatening breakaway from Cote d'Ivoire. Norway have to adjust, have to change something, because at the moment it is becoming far too often, far too common that this is happening in this game already. Diomande lifting it in with the right foot, bounces down and off another Norwegian. That will be another corner. I think the man that had the contact on it. A bit of a struggle there, Christopher Ayer. He's up and okay again. Rallying the troops. Diomande again to deliver. This is their 5th corner of the match. Diomande, right-footed. That one is headed away by Ayer again. Back towards the taker. Diomande. Pedersen in the way. Not much of a way. Not much of a stoppage there from Pedersen. They work it back wide, and just a miscommunication there between Nicolas Pepe and Ulai. Now it ends up just bursting behind for a Norway goal kick. Dexter says Norway will shock them. Well, Norway have the venomous threat at the top end of the field to score from any position in any moment in any situation, with Erling Haaland and Odegaard providing the options. But so far Cote d'Ivoire have looked the better team. They've looked the more together, looked the more fluid, looked the more rhythmical. Norway just look a little bit out of sync and out of tune. And that will build as the game goes on. Flick on by Odegaard. Haaland hooking it into the air. Sorlot's Haaland's. Bit of head tennis between those two as Sorlot takes it down. Nice reverse ball. Good movement this from Norway. Berge. Not much penetration though as it comes wide to Berge. Now back to Hegem. Reluctance maybe to take that forward passing risk in situations like they just had. Norway, a really good passing lane, really good move, building to something, and in the end they decide to retreat and not take that extra forward pass risk. Decide to settle with the ball with Hegem here. It's a little bit lost for options as he does play it wide to Nusa. Nice work 1v1 against Pepe and swings it across. Sorlot, bit of a heavy touch, allows Conan to make a block, and now Diomande breaking away down the left. Pedersen had pushed forward so the space was there. He feeds it into Bonny, and that's hooked behind by Hegem for a corner. But this is where they become so vulnerable, Norway. It's really sloppy. It's a crossfield pass from Nusa towards Sorlot, and it's just a heavy touch picked up by Conan. Really good pressing. And then, once they lose the ball, Norway, Pedersen's come in inverted, so it's left the space wide for Diomande to burst away on the counter-attack. And that's where they're getting done in the wide areas. When they hamper possession, Norway, there's so much space wide for Pepe and Diomande. They're crucifying him at the moment. Diomande to deliver again from a corner, left-hand side. Goes short this time, flick on at the front, blocked. Kept alive though, Bonny. Ulai. Carrying it to the wide right. Tracked all the way there by Hegum. Malai does well to keep it in play and finds Douay. Held off by Bonny. He wins another corner. Off Berg that time. Quickly taken. Ulai. Kessier. Swung into the box. Away by Hegum. And the far from confident effort from Emmanuel Agbadou is easily into the hands of Ørjan Nyland. He will not be pleased, though, by any stretch, Ståle Solbakken, the Norwegian head coach. They've just been on the back foot, Norway, right the way throughout the game. It's in the wide areas is where they look vulnerable. It's where Cote d'Ivoire have looked dangerous. But I think it's just their ponderous nature and possession. I mean, this World Cup so far has not been kind to teams who've decided to be a bit more stale, a little bit more reserved and conservative. It's been more positive and more confident to those that do press forward, do be more aggressive. Norway just looking a little bit off it at the moment. Douay couldn't find the run in behind there of Nicola Pepe. In the end, out for a goal kick. Last 10 minutes of the first half. Ivory Coast 0, Norway 0. Here in Dallas. No doubt it's a close battle off the field between the sets of fans. Both having their voices heard. The sets of fans here. Very vocal groups. Nice hold up there by Ulay. Loose ball in the middle. That's picked up by Nusa. They're forced backwards again right away, Norway. Here is IVOIRE. I could have swore Christopher IVOIRE was Danish. But there we have it. Anyway, Ødegaard out to the right-hand side. Now Solots up against Conan. Solots, nice work to evade his man, whips it in. Haaland with the header. Into the ground and up into the hands of Fofana. Again another Solot cross and another Haaland header. But again it's more of a clip cross from Solots, and Haaland has to generate the power and the pace. And he's just too far away from goal to really test the goalkeeper. In the end, it bounces off the ground and up into the hands. Diamandi there went down. He was kind of signalling to the referee for a yellow card. Usually that gets the player that signalled for it a yellow card himself. Yeah, Haaland just... I mean, we know he's a master with the head. But it's... The cross was just more of a floated effort, and Haaland has to try and generate the power, and he just can't with that sort of leverage that he has from his jump. Pepe reversing it over the top. Bouncing ball. It's a little dangerous here for Bonny. Bonny battling with Christopher IVOIRE. Still tussling. Ultimately, Hegum comes across to help out. Norway can evade that pressure, at least for the moment. Nusa. Nice reverse ball here for Berg. Again, carried wide and works it actually well back to Nusa, who's got the inside run here. Nusa finds Ødegaard. He will have a go. That was blocked from about a yard away from the initial shots. Good block there by Sangari. Wide it comes to Solot again. Ødegaard to Sander Berge. Ødegaard. Yeah, they've done well there. They did well there, Norway. Their first real foray. Nusa making the difference. A little 1-2 link up with Berg. Worked out well as Ødegaard playing a nice pass in to the space. Not much movement around Sander Berge, but finds Berg. Now Nusa. Back inside to Berg. Cross now to Ødegaard. Options as he feeds it wide to Noosa. Edge of the box, drifting into the area. Noosa! That is a finish! And a half from Noosa. That is beautiful. A wonderful postage stamp finish into the top right corner. We thought Haaland was the main threat. Well, stand up and take a bow. Antonio Noosa. Ivory Coast 0. Norway 1. And the Norwegian attack, we knew it would be threatening. We knew it would be dangerous. And look at that from Noosa. Beautiful spinning, curling effort into the top right corner. Too much for Fofana, and it just dipped so elegantly into the side netting. And that is a wonderful goal from Antonio Noosa. His 9th for his country. And he gives Norway the advantage after what has been a pretty disappointing, really, first half for Norway on the attacking front. But they strike with a wonderful moment, an individual quality from Antonio Noosa. I said Ødegaard would find the threats. He found the right man there in the right moments, who equated it with the most wonderful of finishes. Cote d'Ivoire 0. Norway 1. And that is the danger that Norway can pose in individual moments of individual quality. XG of 0.03 on that effort. That shows the veracity and the quality of the finish from Antonio Noosa. Only their second shot on target of the match. The other one was from Haaland with the head a few minutes ago. Now Norway with more movement here. Pedersen, sorry. Swung in with Sorlots. Flicked on. Haaland! Deflected wide. Well, that was more danger from Norway. And a real, genuine glimpse for Erling Haaland for the first time in the game. Header by Sorlot, just cushioned into Haaland's path. They tried to take it on the volley. Kind of come off the head of Kusunau. And coming across was Agbadu to make the block behind. Really strong defending. Corner it is, but Norway have shown up late in this first half. Trying to take another advantage and trying to add to their lead. Berg whips it in, the flick on header. And then directed wide of the back post by Sorlots. Goodness me. See it again, lovely delivery in. Sorlots with a flick on header, and round the back was Haaland and Hegem. And neither could direct it towards goal. Well, all of a sudden, Norway have taken it in their grasp and could be further ahead. And after what has been a really strong 40 minutes from Cote d'Ivoire, been stunned a little bit here in the last couple. The quality of that Noosa finish, and then Norway using that as a foundation to try and find a second. And it's just stifled Cote d'Ivoire and stumbled them a little bit towards the end of this first half. Berger. Oh, that was a bit loose from Noosa. Bonny, surrounded by four in whites. He tries to feed it on to Diomande, but beaten to it there by IVOIRE. Picked up though. Ulai. Kessier. Now Diomande. Strong across. And the block behind for the corner. That was Conan actually, sorry, with the effort in the area. Corner to Cote d'Ivoire. Well, after what has been a quiet first half from their team so far, up until they scored, They're singing loud now, those Norwegian fans. Now Diamandi for another corner delivery here. Right footed, punched away by Neeland, good strong hands. Conan directing it back out wide to Diamandi. Fed in behind, opportunity here, crossing, and let it go behind via deflection. Kessier saying it did. He would say that though. They wanted a goal kick, Norway, but I think a corner has been given. Of course, VAR can overturn it if it's an incorrect call. We do know that. Corner is correct, though, according to VAR. Corner it is. Nicola Pepe to take. Lots of corners. They need to be more threatening from set pieces. Left-footed delivery. Flicked away at the near post. I think it was Sorlots or Haaland, one of the two that got the head to it as Noosa tries to carry it away for Norway. It's going to be a throw-in. There's some question marks over whether there was a possible foul in the box. There's some claims from the Ivorian players. Let's see it again. Yeah, Agbadou was tugged there a little bit. Is that enough, though, to take him down? I mean, not like he's not a real slender figure, Agbadou, you gotta say. To be fair, we saw a foul on the goalkeeper last night that was majorly soft, never a foul, so you never know what to expect. 4 added minutes at the end of the first half. Cote d'Ivoire have reasserted themselves after Norway's little spell, and they've won a free kick here. Doué, fouled by Noosa, and he's going to be a very involved man so far, Antonio Noosa, in this first half. A goal and now a yellow card for the Norwegian winger. Yes, this is a late little kick into Doué. A little bit naive, really. Unnecessary from Antonio Noosa. Well, set pieces have been so key to Cote d'Ivoire's attacking play in this first half, but they've not really done much with it. Not been anywhere near dangerous enough. Diamandi and Pepe, the takers on either side, the two wingers. It's Pepe to take this free kick. Left-footed, swung deep into the box. The header is wide. Whether there was a deflection, they're saying goal kick, but Neeland was a little worried. Yeah, nice ball in by Pepe, and it's Agbadou who gets his head to it. Just kind of directs it wide of the post. It had Neeland scrambling across. And the question marks over whether it did come off a Norwegian defender last. Agonisingly close for some of the fans there as Agbadou had his chance. That's where they, if they are to get back into this game, Cote d'Ivoire, they've not had shortage of chance from set pieces in this first half. Racked up 9 corners and quite a number of free kicks as well in dangerous positions, and not done enough to test Ørjan Neeland in those sorts of situations. Neeland to Hegem. Minute and a half of the first half to go. Wide here to Müller-Wülfe. Back inside to Sanderberger. Pedersen. IVOIRE. Back wide to Pedersen. Well, maybe the patience of Norway did pay off. And the fact that they were really threatening too much on the Cote d'Ivoirian goal the majority of this first half, but a dangerous moment created by Ødegaard, finished by Noosa, and as it stands would have them heading into the break with a 1-goal lead here. And they probably call themselves, even though they probably wouldn't admit it, but maybe a little bit fortunate to be in front after Cote d'Ivoire have certainly being the more dangerous looking side. Like major clear-cut chances. Doué held off Nicola Pepe there, did Hegem. drop here for Bonny, who's been very isolated in this game. For Cote d'Ivoire, the centre forward, it's been more about the wingers in Pepe and Diamande. They've created the attacking moments. It's kind of left Bonny a little bit on his own. As there is the end of the first half. And at half time, it is all rosy for that man and his team. Stale Solbakken, despite probably not being appeased by the performance in the first half, but in knockout football, it is the result that is more important. It's about finding a way, and then so far, Antonio Nusa found a way to find the top corner, and at the moment has the Norwegians in front. Half time, it's Cote d'Ivoire 0, Norway 1. Sure, one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal. Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me. That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible.
thought I never knew. No surprise, but nevertheless, I'm still stuck in self-defense. No surprise, but nevertheless, I get lost when I look in your eyes. I just want to be next to your heart.
Welcome back to World Cup 2026 half-time in our round of 32 match in Dallas. It's Cote d'Ivoire 0, Norway 1. Antonio Nusa's goal, the difference between the two teams at the break. After what was a pretty positive first half for Cote d'Ivoire, who created the better of the chances, but it was Norway who were clinical in the key moment to take the lead. Of course, we're only halfway there, and what we've already seen from the games we've already watched in this World Cup in the round of 32 so far, that never count out a late goal. Incredibly, 3 of the 4 matches had a late result-changing goal in the 90-plus minutes. Morocco to equalise against the Netherlands, Brazil to win against Japan, and Canada to win against South Africa. All of those winning goals or result-changing goals came in added time in the 90-plus minutes. Germany, Paraguay was the only one that didn't have that. They both scored earlier in the game. But what a dramatic round of 32 it has been so far. Really enjoyable to this point. So we're only halfway through our 5th game of 16 matches to take us through till Friday night to round up the round of 32 before the round of 16 gets underway. Speaking of the remaining games, we have another huge one tomorrow for you at 5 o'clock. England take on DR Congo. Can England fend off what was a little bit of a low point to the end of the group stages, albeit their 2-0 win over Panama and that goalless draw with Ghana, keeping clean sheets in those games, but some question marks over whether England can do it against the top opposition. That's been question marks over the years for England. DR Congo will be a really tough opposition, no doubt. The African side who defied the odds to progress. They take to the field in Atlanta, Georgia, tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And looking at what the round of 16 is shaping up to look like so far, 4 of the 16 teams that will take their places in the last 16 are already confirmed. Paraguay booked their place after their penalties win over Germany last night. They will play the winner of France against Sweden in that one. Canada-Morocco is a matchup, our first matchup for the round of 16 confirmed. That will be played on Saturday at 6 o'clock. That will be the opener to the round of 16 games on Saturday evening. And Brazil have already booked their place. Remember, the winner of this game we're watching now, Cote d'Ivoire or Norway, will play Brazil in the round of 16. 5 full ties still to be decided. And of course, we'll have 3 of our 8 matchups for the round of 16 by the end of the evening. So, we have a huge second half between Cote d'Ivoire and Norway on the way. Antonio Nusa's wonderful curling effort separates the teams. But what will it be after 90 minutes or even more? We'll just find out. Second half on the way next. Welcome back to World Cup 2026. The players out on the field, ready to start the second half here in Dallas. You have to say Norway were patient and clinical in taking their goal in the first half. Cote d'Ivoire will be pretty disappointed with their overall play turned into a 1-0 deficit at half-time. After such threat early in the game and such danger from both wingers. But a lack of clinical edge in the final third is what separates the two. Albeit, their goal, Norway, as I already said, was a 0.03 XG, which means it was a 3% chance, according to XG, of finding the back of the net. And which was, just shows and really explains how impressive of a finish it was from Antonio Nusa. There's 45 minutes to go. Where Norway with the advantage. Will they build upon it? And will there be that fighting spirit from Cote d'Ivoire to find a way back? Remember, they have really find themselves in strong positions in each game. It's the first time they've actually gone behind in a game at this World Cup. Obviously before the late winner against Germany, but in terms of going behind first and conceding the first goal, they opened the scoring against Germany and didn't concede in the Ecuador-Curacao games. So conceding first It's not usually Ivory Coast style in this World Cup. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond to it. And they have to have a response because it's, of course, win or go home. That's the cutthroat nature of the knockout stages. There's no time for settling for a good performance. It's all about the result, and that's what will make the first half from Norway even more impressive and positive for them, is the fact that they probably haven't played anywhere near their best, or got the most dangerous players on the ball on too many occasions. That finish from Nusa just kind of negates all that negative feeling. Just gives them that strength going into the second half, that they've got the lead and now it's they in charge. As they are under pressure here from Onai. Nice work from Conan to win it back. Bonnie angling the hold-up play, but I guess he had to make some evasive moves to ensure that it stayed in IVOIRE possession. Agbadou. Conan. Back to Emmanuel Agbadou. Of course, another player who will be well known to Premier League fans. Former Wolves defender, Emmanuel Agbadou. Now, of course, with Besiktas. Ulai. All the way back across to Kosunu. Now Sangari. Playing it into the half space for Diomande. Picking up that little pocket. Conan with the early cross. Dangerous ball. Will be kept alive by Pepe on the right. Straight at Muller-Vufa. Cuts onto his right foot. Back onto his left. Pepe still has the danger. Cuts it back for the cross. That's skimmed its way through the 6-yard box. Conan to Diomande. Looking for the runner. Finding Bonnie, and that one will be seen behind for a corner. And Doué whips the cross back in, and it was come off the fingertips of Orjan Neelan. Bonnie just was on his heels as that came across, and no one there to pounce. Cote d'Ivoire. They will have a corner though here. Jan Diomande now taking the 10th corner of the game for Cote d'Ivoire. That's double the amount of shots they've had in the game. 5 shots they've had, 10 corners. Shows their lack of threat from set pieces to this point, but as they emerge into double figures, is there a 1 in 10 chance? Diamande's having none of that. Referee wasn't appeased by the positioning of the ball from the corner. Puts it inside the quadrant. Diomande. Corner, headed away. At the front post by Berg. Flick forward. And they're not won by Emmanuel Agbadou. And that will be cleared away comfortably by Norway. Well, 5 minutes gone of the second half. It's more of a similar tone from the first. Early in the first half, where Cote d'Ivoire with the possession and the threat. A patient Norway waiting for their moments. Ball in by Doué, flicked on by Pepe. Bonnie was in the mix. Pepe heads it back to the outside of the box. Norway able to intercept, and then that's going to be pulled back by the referee. Look at that for a touch from Doué. In the air, and a little deft touch with the instep of his right foot behind his left. Beautiful bit of skill. There's no question he's been outskilled in this game by the finish of Nusa. Here is Conan measuring one in behind. Diomande on the run. Pedersen will always have the advantage, and IVOIRE taking no prisoners there. Launching it behind for a corner. He was not in the mood to be ushering that one out, Christopher IVOIRE. Nicely sealed it out for a throw-in, actually. Conai couldn't find it through. Did well to battle back there. The midfielder. Creased Ulai. Conan takes on Sorlots, who was left for dead there. Conan swung it in. That was a dangerous ball. Away by Berg, and not the best of shots from long range there from Sangari. Is well over the top. Goal kick. Someone's got the match ball. That's nice. A little bit wasteful there though from Cote d'Ivoire. Building something nicely. They're certainly leaning on those crosses. They did it quite a lot in the first half, just crossing the ball into the box, but we're kind of floating them a little bit, waiting for the right option to arrive, and now they're just trying to hit a space to create some chaos, some danger, some unnerve Norway defensively. It is crucial, I think, that Cote d'Ivoire get the next goal, if there is another one. They have to level this game because Norway take a 2-goal lead. Not that I don't expect them to not concede or to throw that away, but it is a much more mentally tough thing to try and come from, obviously 2-0 down. Such little time would be left in the game. Ødegaard. Pedersen, forced backwards by Jan Diamandi. He did well on the turn, Pedersen. Tried to feed it in behind for Sorloth, and then well won by Ødegaard. Sorloth is wide. He's got Haaland through the middle. He's also got Nusa. Spoiled for choice there, Ødegaard. Nusa. Now Wulf's cross. Looping over the heads of both Sorloth and Haaland in the mix. And into the hands of Fofana after all is said and done. I think Ødegaard didn't know what choice he wanted there. 3 options. Decided to take the Nusa option. He went for the overlap for Müller-Wülfe. His cross was over hits. Doué. Pepe. To Agbadou. Into Ulai. Now out to the left-hand side for Conan. Ulai again in the half space in the towards the middle of the field. He's going to swing it out to Nicola Pepe. Takes it down well. Müller-Wülfe in the way. Pepe rolls it back. Shot from Doué is blocked. Just for Pepe. And the save by Nyland. Doué again. Has it stolen away from him by Nusa. Alleviating the pressure on the Norwegian defence, but they needed their keeper there. Oh yeah, Nyland. Doué's shot, blocked by Hegem, just comes off the defender. Rebounds into the path of Nicola Pepe, who's trying to tuck it in the corner. And oh yeah, Nyland, good reactions. Smothers the ball to force it away from goal. Much better. Again from Cote d'Ivoire. Here is Erling Haaland. Now on to Ødegaard. Room for Norway to manoeuvre here. Ødegaard's ball was closed out, calling for a possible handball, but the referee said no. Couple of Ivorian defenders there in the mix. Crowding out Martin Ødegaard there. Here is Conan. Yeah, but a really good response in the second half from Cote d'Ivoire so far. Pepe. Kessié. Doué back to Kusano. And now Agbadou into Ulai. Again, good movement. Ball swung wide to Conan. Creating the width. Whips the ball in. Well drop here to Pepe. Deft little touch. Reversing it into Bonnie's path. And That one right down the throat of the goalkeeper. Now, lots of dignitaries watching on, including Erling Haaland's father, Alfie Haaland. Nusa, nice work in behind. Müller-Wulfe on the underlap and battling there with Doué and Pepe. Still coming away with the ball here. Ødegaard. He felt he was fouled, and the referee does agree that Martin Ødegaard was unfairly challenged there. Free kick here to Norway. Haven't had many set-piece opportunities, Norway, but they've certainly got no shortage of targets. Obviously, Erling Haaland will be the main one. Alexander Sørloth will be there too. Two that will command the area with their height alone. Christopher Ajer will also be in the mix, I would suspect. Ødegaard in conversation. He is the sole man to take it here for Norway. This would be a perfect moment for Norway to compound. The Ivorian defence swung in by Ødegaard. Oh! Into the 6-yard box, and Fofana got his hands to it, but that one dropped in a very dangerous area. And it was desperate for someone to poke it in, but Fofana able to pick it up. Zulai swings it wide here to Conan. Space here for the fullback. Conan takes on his man, and Pedersen, who did well 1v1 there, and that's seen behind for the corner. You see this moment again, it just comes off the back of Doué and then off the chest of Sander Berg from the Ødegaard delivery. It just bounces down in front of Fofana. Oh goodness. Short corner taken by Cote d'Ivoire. Blocked cross there, will be played wide here to Ulai. Flick ball round the corner. Sangari back wide to Diomande. Diomande back to Ulai. Nice square, and Agbadou to shoot. Again, another one of those wasteful shots from range. Someone else has got a World Cup ball. Seems like they're celebrating that. As we see the glorious finish from Antonio Nusa. Heading, I mean, his hands on his head there, Martin Ødegaard, in disbelief at the quality of that finish. Might be a contender. Not only goal of the rounds, but maybe goal of the tournament. Certainly amongst the top rated ones, as changes afoot. And Cote d'Ivoire are going to make a double switch. We're going to see the introduction of Amad Diallo, as well as Ilyai Wahi. So a double substitution for Cote d'Ivoire. Doué gets rid of that one in a dangerous position on the edge of his own box. Bonny and Ulai have been replaced by Wahi and Amad Diallo. Ødegaard trying to be twinkle toes there, but runs into Conan, and it's actually going to be a foul. Ødegaard getting very frustrated with the assistant. Far from appeased there, the Norwegian captain. As we surpass the 60-minute mark here in Dallas, still remains Norway who lead by a goal to nil, but it's been much more threatening and dangerous from Cote d'Ivoire in this second half. Amad picking up the loose ball, little 1-2 with Diomande. Back to Amad. Down the touchline, Diomande working inside towards Pedersen. Onto his right and trying to dribble his way through too. Berge with the block. Sørloth Lays it off here to Berg. Now Muller-Wulfe. Norway try and create something down the left here. Kessier across, but Berg gets there in front of him. And the underlapping run from Muller-Wulfe is stopped well there by Douay. A bit of space for Pepe. Finding Ahmad, who's kind of almost as a bit of a free role in the team, working from left to right. Helping to build it up. Oh, look at that from Ahmad. Lovely reverse pass. Pepe back towards Wahi. That is cleared away. The last second. Well picked up again. Sangari wide to Conan. Maybe that's what they need. A little bit of sprinkling of stardust from Ahmad. Cote d'Ivoire just to make the difference, because they've been close. Not close enough. Pepe to come all the way across there. Here's Sangari. Waiting for the right move. Nice reverse run. Diomande squares it across, looking for Wahi in the middle, but thumped away by Hegem. Yeah, but it's the movement of Ahmad that makes it so difficult, and look at that. Drags Hegem in. Just a little back heel. Fabulous. Diomande again. I think he's picked up the ball more at the corner flag, Jan Diomande, than anywhere else in this game. And that's not to say that he's been bad or not been involved. It's just they've had so many corners, Cote d'Ivoire. Again, still they haven't been able to have the threat. I mean, that's surely not on the quadrant. And I think the referee's right that time. Puts it on the inside of the quadrant again, like he did earlier. Diomande. Swung in with the right foot. Narrow this one. Bounced and cleared. Half cleared. Ahmad, though, lifting it round the back. Head of there. Not fully away by Haaland. A bit of a bouncing around. A bit of pinball as Haaland hooks it away. A bouncing ball. It's dangerous here for Conan, who will guide his header just about back to Fofana as Odegaard and Haaland were lurking. And if he got that wrong, Conan, that could have been horrendously dangerous. My goodness. Haaland had to start the move by doing a bit of defending. Heading it away at the back post. And then he's the one to clear it from the box as well on the rebound. After Agbadou heads it towards the middle of the 18-yard area. Certainly the momentum, though, is with Cote d'Ivoire, but it's kind of feeling that way in the first half. They just need to find that leveler. And who knows what will come next, but inspiration and a vision is there. Ball into the box early this time. Wahi made the run, but Orjan Nieland was alert and got there first. I have to say, Orjan Nieland hasn't been called into action too many times in the game, the Norwegian keeper. But when he has, he's been perfect. So that's a nice ball by Odegaard. Sorlots with a run, but Agbadou across to block it behind for the corner. Yeah, if they get the ball to Martin, I mean, it seems really simple to say, but get Odegaard on the ball with a little bit of space. That's where Norway can be so dangerous. And he's won them a corner here. Now, Cote d'Ivoire have had 12 corners. This is only their third corner for Norway. Pales in insignificance. Will it be more clinical, like they've been all the way throughout? Odegaard's will have to go again because the referee whistled as just about the corner was being taken. Not happy with Sanderberga and Sangari kind of having a holding of each other there. A not so warm embrace between the two players. Odegaard to deliver then. Footed, swung into the middle. Haaland! Oh, goodness me. That was incredibly close. It's Cote d'Ivoire break away. That one's seen out for the throw. Well, they came ever so close, Norway, to maybe adding a second. I think it's actually Hegem has the eventual shot. The referee's has been asked to stop play for the moment. VAR having a look at something. Maybe a handball, possibly. Now the check is complete, and we play on. Not too sure what that was over, but VAR wanted to make sure they got it correct before the game got back underway. They had a little look and decided no further action was needed. Pepe, Doué, Ahmad into Pepe. Squeezing it through to Wahi, but he was well stopped by IVOIRE. Now to Nusa for Norway. Skipping and evading challenge. On to Ødegaard. Now Haaland. Spread wide to Berg. Waiting for Nusa to create the angle. Nusa getting the ball from Berg into the box. Trying to spin away from Doué. Gets the ball across. And headed away by Kusanau. And I think the flag was up anyway against Antonio Nusa. And that's going to trigger the hydration break, which once again gets a rousing boo from the crowd inside AT&T Stadium. We don't know the exact numbers. You haven't announced the official attendance yet, but a capacity that could hold up to 80,000 for football matches. A reminder for you, of course, these two will play, the winner of this one, shall I say, will play Brazil in the round of 16. That will be on Sunday night. And they'll have a good bit of time to recover, whoever goes through. As we get closer to 90 with still 1-0. Of course, the tendency to be that, who knows, we could be needing more time on the end of this one to decide a winner. A reminder as well for you that we have World Cup action tomorrow. England take on DR Congo, 5 o'clock from Atlanta. Can Thomas Tuchel's side build upon what has been a decent start to the tournament for the English, who, for once actually coming into this tournament, didn't hype themselves up, which is not on brand for English fans, but they take on DR Congo, an African side, once again, like many of the African teams in this tournament, defying expectations and exceeding such expectations. And we'll see how DR Congo fare against England in Atlanta tomorrow, a 5 o'clock kickoff. I just saw that chance again for, it was Hegem, and it was blocked off the goal line by Amad Diallo. And they were possibly checking whether he blocked it with his arm or his hand. Of course, that was checked and cleared. But that's what they were checking, VAR, just to confirm that. But Diallo with a necessary block on the goal line. Otherwise, Hegem would have added a second. And Norway would have been in real command of this fixture. Look at that goal again from Antonio Nusa. You could watch it over and over and over again on repeat. It is a wonderful finish. Remember, after all is said and done, Cote d'Ivoire have already made history, making their first ever knockout stages of a World Cup and only their 4th appearance at the tournaments. For Norway, it's been an expectation when they do make the World Cup. They make the knockout stages. As I already told you, 2 of their 3 qualifications previously. They've ended up going to the round of 16 on both occasions. They have to win a knockout game to do it this time round. And they're going to make a double change here. The man who currently will be seeing them into the last 16, Antonio Nusa, is going to be replaced by Skelderup on the left-hand side. And we're going to see the introduction of Oscar Bob as well, the Fulham winger. And he's on to replace Alexander Sorloth. So a double substitution in the wide areas for Norway. On both wings. Some fresh attacking legs for Norway. shows their intention to not just settle for the 1-0, try and push for maybe a second and really put the game to bed, something that no team has ever done so far, or hasn't done so far, hasn't done so far in this round of 32. That's taken a 2-goal advantage, but here's a chance for Cassier. Well stopped by Sander Berge. Here is Oscar Bob for his first involvement. Made it back to Pedersen. Will loop it over the top, looking for the run of Haaland, but that's well marshalled by Cousineau and Agbadou, the two Ivorian centre-backs. Now, just short of 20 minutes to go. Norway have that 1-goal lead. As I already said, 3 of the 4 results from the round of 32 so far have all been altered. The game has been altered in the late minutes of the matches. 3 of the 4 of them, either an equaliser or a winner in 90+ minutes. So it might go the full distance of the 90+ before it is ensured who would go through. Who knows, at that point it might have been in the balance, as we saw with Morocco levelling in 91st minute last night against the Netherlands. Diamandi with a backtrack in there did really well, as they've done the Viking row celebration. And straight afterwards rise to their feet to cheer the Norwegian fans. As I said, it's almost been like the modern version of the Mexican wave, the Viking row. As I said earlier, I saw a video of the Norwegian fans on a plane here to Dallas and getting everybody on the plane to do the Viking row. Here is Amad Diallo. Little 1-2, really good work. Amad here onto his left. That is gorgeous. Amad Diallo starting and ending the move, and Cote d'Ivoire level. That is a bit of individual brilliance from a tricky little winger in Amad Diallo. 1-1, and the Manchester United man has Cote d'Ivoire on a level footing with Norway. They had been threatening and pushing forward in this second half, and finally there is breakthrough to this Viking defence. Look at this. Lovely little give and go between Amad and Nicolas Pepe, two of their most crucial players in this tournament for Cote d'Ivoire. Amad with a late winner against Ecuador in game 1, and Nicolas Pepe with the double against Curaçao. Two key players with key moments, and they combine for another one in the knockout stages. Cote d'Ivoire in their knockout debut at a World Cup are now on a level footing with just over a quarter of an hour to go in normal time. And that man, Amad Diallo, off the bench to make the difference. And now cue the dancing. You don't need to tell them twice to do that, but that's his third goal in his last 5 appearances for his country, including his second at this tournament for Amad Diallo. And both have been so crucial for Cote d'Ivoire. Amad Diallo with his 8th international goal. He hadn't scored for club or country since the AFCON back in January, before their build-up to this World Cup. He's now scored in 3 of his last 5 appearances, including that friendly victory over France before the tournament. And now they're on a level footing with Norway in this game, and probably what they deserve, really. For the vast majority of this game, they've been the team on the front foot. They've been the team with the aggressive nature through their play. Norway have been a little bit on the back foot at times. Now they're trying to work it back. Skelderup into the box. Ødegaard with a flick. Well, drop there for Bob, but just stolen away from him and seen out of the danger. That time by Conan. Almost 70,000 people inside the stadium here in Dallas. Ødegaard. Berger. Wide to Pedersen. Diamandi trying to stop him, but Pedersen does well to evade Diamandi's threat and press. But the cross actually goes the way of Wahi here. And it's a 3v2 for Cote d'Ivoire. Breaking down the right. Pepe a little wide will allow Norway to get bodies back, but into Wahi. Tries to roll it back. Pepe felt he got a touch to the ball and was caught. Referee said no. So a claim of a penalty by Nicola Pepe. Yeah, it looked soft to me. Not to see a replay, but not from what I could tell from the wide angle. Here's Ødegaard. The game much more open. A bit more end-to-end now. Here's Skelderup. Back to Berg. Now Ødegaard. In the press of Sangari. Ødegaard down the left it goes. Mullerwulfa. Way through for Skelderup there. And back to Sander Berger. Skelderup trying to measure one into the area. That one straight into the hands of the Ivorian goalkeeper, Fofana. Now, setting away is Jan Diamandi down the left-hand side. Ahmad on the overlap. Here is Ahmad. Trying to whip it, but kind of zip it back across. Flag was up actually against Ahmad. Just offside there. See this claim for a penalty. Well, I mean, I can see why Nicola Pepe is claiming for it. He was caught under the foot by Skelderup, but is it enough? It looked a little soft. But I can understand if it was given, why it would have been given, but it wasn't. And it's not enough to overturn the decision. Pedersen. Bob. Ødegaard. Now Norway have to be a bit more front-footed. A bit more aggressive because now both sides going out for the win now. We now the 5th of all of the round of 32 games and have been level late in the game. Absolutely incredible. I mean, it's been so incredibly close and competitive in the round of 32 so far. Each of the matchups we've seen, there has been, I mean, it's splitting hairs to make difference between the teams. Mullerwulfa wide on the left-hand side. Skelderup cuts inside Douay. Douay tracks him into midfield. Skelderup lays it off to Sander Berger. Now into Ødegaard on the half-turn. Edge of the box. Breaks wide for Bob. And Ødegaard couldn't get his feet in the right positions there. Not a great clearance, though, from Canon. And albeit that Norwegian attack comes to a pretty cheap end. Diamandi back to Conan. The player down there was Ahmad, who's down. I weren't too sure whether or not to take it to put it out of play there, Conan. Ahmad in a bit of pain. He does seem to be in having a real issue here, Ahmad. Doesn't seem to be in a good way. Really struggling. So he will be treated here. This could make a major difference to how this game turns out, because he's been the difference for Cote d'Ivoire in the final third so far in this. Since he's come onto the field, he's the one that makes, creates and finishes the equalising goal. All through him. And it is just beautiful. And I said it's the inspiration that they needed. Cote d'Ivoire, they were so close. The question raised, was Ahmad the man to make the difference? Well, the answer to that is 100% yes. I'll be hoping that he won't have to come off here. It looks like he should be okay. He's back to his feet and able to walk off unaided, so he should be okay to continue. And Conan will just take this throw in. Yeah, they, of course, in the essence of fair play, Norway allowing them to have a throw in. Cote d'Ivoire, after they put it at a play to allow Ahmad to receive some treatment, he's getting the magic spray. I have no idea what that is, but somehow it works wonders. Is it like a numbing spray? Nonetheless, and all that they will care about, the Cote d'Ivoirian fans, is that Ahmad is able to get back onto the field. He could be the difference late in this game, as we've seen Pedersen replaced by Auschness. So straight swap it right back for Norway late in this one. Auschness, of course, who started the game against France in game 3 of the groups. Now on late in this one, just to give some fresh legs to that back line of Norway. They've been under real pressure as we win the free kick here. Referee allows them to take it quickly. Ødegaard. Auschness. Bob. Lays it back inside to Ødegaard. 6.5 minutes of normal time to go, plus added time. We've already seen late drama aplenty in this round of 32 fixtures so far. And we have another chapter to add to the already very thick book of dramatic late moments at this World Cup. Auschness. IVOIRE. Into the middle. Skjelderup coming central. Hegem feeds it wide down the left. Sander Berge. Skjelderup. Drifting inside. Skjelderup trying to swing it across the edge of the area. IVOIRE does well to direct his head wide. Muller-Wulfe to Berge. Wulfe. Ødegaard round the corner. Skjelderup made the run, trying to cut it back. Sliding block there from Doué to see it out for the throw. IVOIRE all the way back here to Hegem, who came ever so close to giving Norway a 2-goal lead early in the game. And I mean, Ahmad has been transformative for this game. I mean, without Ahmad on the pitch, theoretically Norway could be 2-0 up right now. He made a goal line block and scored the equaliser. Oh, that's a lovely ball by Bob. In behind, squared across. Haaland! That is vintage Erling Haaland. Absolutely perfect. Rolling it into the nets and giving Norway the lead again. That was tiki-taka football at its best from Norway. And Erling Haaland, at this moment in time, could be carrying his team to the round of 16. He's had a few half chances so far, but that pass from Oscar Bob carved Cote d'Ivoire open. See it again here. I think he's going to go wide again, but he finds that little half space Beautiful move. Squared across by Berg. And Erling Haaland, the keeper was committed to one side, and it's an empty net for Haaland. Just to, not even pass it, just tap it off the outside of his boot. Got a little bit nervous there, Haaland. Was a little bit concerned that he didn't put enough on it. Beautifully worked, beautifully created, and elegantly finished by Erling Haaland. Cote d'Ivoire 1, Norway 2. And with minutes left on the clock, it is now going to be another late moment needed to change the outcome of this game for Cote d'Ivoire. They're going to need to find an inspired finish again to try and counter what has just happened. Haaland with the key moment again. And I said it earlier on, when Erling Haaland is quiet, that's when you should be afraid, because he will pop up with a moment that makes the difference. His 60th goal for his country and only his 53rd cap for Norway. It is ridiculous. His 5th goal of the tournament after back-to-back braces to start the tournament. He was benched against France, didn't play a single minute, and has now, for the 3rd appearance in a row at this World Cup, found the net for Norway. 5 goals in 3 appearances at this World Cup. Incredible from Haaland. 60 goals for his country and only 53 at 3 caps is mental. But they need their prayers to be heard now, the Ivorian fans, because Erling Haaland, he was the threats. He hasn't had major opportunity. Oh, he's trying to work it there. Just about dealt with by Agbadou. Odegaard. Bob. Blocked there well by Conan. Will be a throw in though to Norway, who will be in no rush at all to take it. Throw by Augsnes. Held up here by Odegaard, who's being wrestled off the pitch. And again he has another go at the assistant. Be on the end of a few Martin Odegaard rages so far, this assistant referee. That's a nice touch by Amat. Again in the half space. Lays it out wide to Yan Diomande. What I didn't get telling you is that Cote d'Ivoire made a substitution just after that goal. Omar Diakite coming on for Nicolas Pepe. Seconds remain of the 90. How long will be added on? Lovely from Berg. Bursting away here. He's got an opportunity. Finds Haaland in behind with the angled run. Haaland still holding on to the ball, and on the turn the shot is well off targets. Wouldn't want to call him greedy there, Haaland, but just not the right option. Maybe the layoff to Skelderup was the right employment there. Not the best of decision making. 7 added minutes. Still quite a lot left of this. 3 injury time goals that have altered the ultimate result in this knockout stages so far. Canada's late winner, Brazil's late winner, and Morocco's late leveller. All difference-making goals late in games to either win it or level it to then win it for those respective teams. Cote d'Ivoire needs something such as that late in this game. Oh wait, but on the end of that one he wanted a foul. The referee said no, waved it away. Felt him down a little easily there, did the referee. who, actually, I didn't tell you who the referee is. Not that it really ultimately matters, but he's from Colombia. Here is Conan clipping it across. It was looping. It was a tantalising ball that was dropping. It was just about hooked away by Norway. Sangari feeds it wide. Diakite at the byline. Diamandi. Diakite looping it round the back. Diamandi leaped, but catching Ausnes on the way through there. That's going to be a free kick to Norway. And Diamandi smacks the floor in anger. Yeah, lovely clip ball by Conan a little earlier. And it just kind of loops towards goal. Caoimhan Ferris has to make contact to stop it. And as it was dipping, there were two queuing up, but neither of them could get contact cleanly for Cote d'Ivoire. As we see the Haaland goal again. Yeah, it's certainly not the most perfect of finishes from Erling Haaland, but who cares? That's what his answer should be, and probably would be. And he's now put himself ahead of Kylian Mbappe in the Golden Boot race for this World Cup. 5 goals for him, 4 for Mbappe. Messi, though, still showing the young boys how it's done. 6 goals at the top of the list. Argentina and France, of course, still to play their respective round of 32 matches. So double substitution here for Cote d'Ivoire late. Going to see Evan Gersund and Toure on. And Jan Diomande is one of those who have come off. I didn't quite see who the other one was, but a double substitution for Cote d'Ivoire that's going to make up their 5 subs in normal time. It's Bazumana Toure and Evan Gersund who have both entered the fray. Jan Diomande and Conan, here are the 2 that are replaced. Here's Ausnes. Couldn't find a way past the mountain of a man in Agbadou in the way. 3.5 minutes to go. And at the moment, famous Viking row will be sailing Norway into the round of 16. And a famous meeting against Brazil on the cards. Sangari having none of that. Trying to rush his way to get the throw-in taken quickly. Time is of the essence here for Cote d'Ivoire. Diakite. Ahmad. Diakite trying to return the ball to Ahmad. Overheaded a little. Diakite, though, committed to win it back and does. Doué. This is a Norwegian player down. Doué's ball in. Headed away by Hegem, followed up by Ausnes. Taken in by Sangari, who was brought down there a little cynically. That's going to be a free kick. As Sangari and Ødegaard get a little bit. As Wahi and Bob now get a little bit in each other's faces. Tension's just flaring a little bit late in this one. The referee's pushing people around. Say, to be honest, referee, I don't think you're a certain dominance on anyone there. Yeah. I mean, there's no attempt to win the ball there from Martin Ødegaard. Just shoving Sangari to the ground, and then they kind of come together. I mean, Ødegaard, that's just so dumb. Not only to commit the foul, and then to try and get up into the face of Sangari. I mean, it's just unnecessary for Martin Ødegaard. Surprised that he didn't get a yellow card for that. It's unnecessarily aggressive. 90 seconds to go. Free kick from about 30 yards here. Ahmad left-footed. Oh! Neeland had to make the save. That was angling into the corner. Ahmad again with the chance. And Caoimhan Neeland full stretch with his left hand up in the air to palm it away as it was angling towards that top corner. What a save by Caoimhan Neeland, but what an attempt by Amad Diallo. We'll take the corner. Ahmad Swung in with the left. Flicked on. Away at the near post. Cycled back here. Bit of a heavy touch. Bob got there in the interception. And it will be a Norway throw. And that might be that. And Jan Neeland was maybe needed for just one more time for Norway. And what a save it was. What an effort it was from Amad Diallo, who has been transformative to this Cote d'Ivoirian team. And it maybe begs the question why he didn't start the game. Long kick by Fofana. Maybe one last hope. Wahi with the hold up. Fed it wide. Diakite with the run. Challenge there. Still a battle down the rights. He will get a corner here. Berger body on the line. Ahmad with one more corner. One more chance. 7 minutes is up. I think Fofana's coming up. It's do or die for Cote d'Ivoire now. Everybody up for this. In their debut at the knockout stages of a World Cup. It is down to one final corner. Corner number 14 of the game. And Ahmad's to deliver. Ahmad, left-footed, swung into the box. So many in there. Not able to direct it towards goal. It's still alive. On the left, it's Doué trying to hang on to create one last chance. But that is it. The whistle goes. And Erling Haaland, leading the charge for Norway with his winning goal, sees the Norwegians through to the round of 16. The third time in their history they've done that in 4 appearances on the world stage. The first time they've done it by winning a knockout game on the world stage. Haaland, we thought, would have the key touch. Not maybe the way he expected or we expected him to, but they all count. It was adding to Noosa's wonderful goal in the first half. Ahmad's incredible introduction made it level. But the difference maker makes the difference once again. Erling Haaland, his 60th international goal. Neeland was needed on a few occasions, but once again the headlines will be Erling Braut Haaland, the key man for Norway. Final score, Cote d'Ivoire 1, Norway 2. And well, these two teams in very new territory for their countries. Norway with their first ever knockout game victory at a World Cup. And Cote d'Ivoire were trying to attempt to do that too, with their first ever appearance in a knockout game at a World Cup. But Erling Haaland was always going to make the difference. And they should have been, and probably would have been concerned that he didn't have the first goal for Norway, because they knew he was lurking somewhere. When he popped up, made the difference. You knew that was going to be the key moment. Look at Noosa, who was emotional at the final whistle. Cote d'Ivoire were emotional too, but for all the wrong reasons. Got a feel for them they've really shown up at this tournament, Cote d'Ivoire. But the question marks will be at the end of this, why Amad Diallo didn't start the game after making such a difference when he came off the bench. He almost single-handedly scored 2 goals for them. He definitely single-handedly scored the first. And he almost had a late bit of drama with a free kick as well. But not to be for Cote d'Ivoire. And it's Norway who will march on, who will row their way to the round of 16. The guards finally changed from aggression to celebration. So it is Brazil who will play Norway in the round of 16. And that will be on Sunday evening to see that one take place. And that is our second matchup of the round of 16 confirmed. Just a quick look at the bracket for you. On the top right corner, Brazil-Norway is that first matchup on the right-hand side of your bracket for the round of 16. And we know Paraguay will play the winner of France-Sweden in the round of 16. And Canada-Morocco is the other matchup. So we're starting to build a bit of a shape to this round of 16, and after 5 games down in this round of 32, each and every one of them has gone to the latter stages. Paraguay needing penalties to see off 4-time winners Germany. Morocco needing penalties to see off the Netherlands. Canada and Brazil doing it with late added time winners. And Erling Haaland in the 86th minute making the difference for Norway. So, that is the way it looks. Reminder for you that we are back tomorrow, 5 o'clock. England take on DR Congo in the round of 32. England, with all the expectation and all the... Really, everybody will be predicting that they should go through, but as we've already seen, that really means nothing. The expectation, or who's got the better players, won in terms of 11v11. And we'll see an inspired performance I expect from DR Congo tomorrow. We'll see how they fare in Atlanta. That's a 5 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. But once again, as I said, the difference maker makes the difference once again. Erling Haaland with the winner for Norway. And they are rowing their way to the last 16. Their first ever knockout victory at a World Cup.